something. Okay.
You guys ready?
Sure.
Okay. This is for the Comics Journal online. I'm here interviewing Eleanor Davis and company, the creators of the Secret Science Alliance and the Copycat Crook, released in 2009 from Bloomsbury. Eleanor, this was your project. Why did you decide to involve your friends and family in creating this project?
Because we were under a very tight deadline, and I was unable to work as quickly as I had.
Great.
Also because it worked out really well, because Drew's a great inker, and Joey and Michele are great colorists.
All right. Yeah, speaking of Drew and Joey and Michele, everyone should introduce yourselves and the role you played in completing this book.
Well, I'm Drew Weing, and I inked the book for Eleanor.
And he also helped in writing and editing it and stuff.
I
It was a
gave
major part.
feedback like any spouse or partner would do.
I'm Joey Weiser, and I co-colored the book.
I'm Michele, Chidester. I co-colored the book with Joey.
Excellent. And y'all four were at various points not married at the beginning of this project, and by now, with the project completed, you are married in the sense of the word. Did that transition in any way affect the dynamic of working on the book, or was your personal life kind of separate from the job?
The book was actually done by the time we all got married, but we were all, living together beforehand anyway. So.
Not all of it.
Not all of us. And all of us are not
We're
married.
I got married to Drew.
Let me tell you about polyamory.
It's okay to fib about these things. It's more interesting. Okay, so everything was cool. There wasn't any dynamic change, no paradigm shift going on.
Not really. We
I
probably...
think we had all been like dating or whatever people call it nowadays for like 6 years each of us.
Because
Yeah, so.
you guys got together at around the same time that we got together, so it was about 6
True.
years.
Yes.
And then you guys beat us to the punch slightly in getting married.
Joey and I are more codependent. We win that.
But we weren't copying. We weren't just copying Joey and Michele.
But,
Our brilliant idea
and you guys,
of marriage.
I guess you two hadn't worked together on the same projects, but you guys would do minis together and stuff like that. And Michele and I really had never worked together on a single thing. But just when you live with somebody, you are always sort of giving input and stuff like that.
I think in some ways, me and Drew we ended up getting married. We ended up not getting married as soon as we might have because of the book. Because we were planning on getting married for years and years.
Well, yeah, at least a year. Yeah,
A couple
more than a
years.
year. Yeah.
We had been talking about it for about 3 years, I think, since we moved to Athens. And then when we got done with the book, we were like, whew, now we have time to get married. Thank God.
Excellent. And now the personal questions are done. We can talk about comic books.
Boy.
Why, for this project, did you choose to do a book for young readers? I think a lot of your work before, when they were children, they ended up in the bellies of some sort of fantastical monster.
That's true.
And I notice, at least, the things that I follow, the comics business is really kind of craving more adult and sophisticated work. So why did you choose this project, which is different from some of what you've done before?
Well, it's kind of interesting, the kids comic situation, because I think that right when we got the contract for the Secret Science Alliance, it was when there was the huge, and it's still kind of going on, but I think it's petered off a bit, the huge manga boom, and all the American publishers were really interested in getting in on this, manga action. And we were presented with, that was the opportunity. Our agents, Kitchen and Land, contacted us about pitching a project in Bloomsbury, and it was supposed to be a kids project. And I was still in school, and the idea of having a job sounded really great. And then additionally, there's this interesting, problem of there being both a need for sophisticated adult work in comics, but then also there isn't actually that much stuff that's good for kids. The majority of mainstream comics in America seems to be for man-children, which isn't suitable for either kids or adults.
It's men-children, Eleanor.
Men-children. So I think all of us are very into the idea of there being more quality kids comics. Mm-hmm. It's very minimal, the amount of, there's Bone and stuff like Amulet and Jellyby, Nick Magazine, which is, now defunct. And all of us love comics for kids, and also, when we were kids, that was how we got into comics, and we still really like kids comics. And additionally, I think we all feel like comics aren't going to survive as a medium unless people start reading them from childhood. There's an issue of being comics literate, where if you don't start reading comics when you're relatively young, it's hard for you to interpret the images.
I didn't start reading comics until college, though.
Does it? But you don't really. Comics aren't like your #1 deal.
No, but I totally read them. Mm-hmm. I don't make as far as me being able to make cohesive storylines. That's not really something that happens with me. But I'm not. I don't think you're you're talking about the market, right? Or are you talking about comics creators?
I guess both. I guess because we both need people who are inspired to create comics from. I think that oftentimes people get inspired to pursue their ultimate careers when they're relatively young. I know I wanted to be a cartoonist when I was pretty young. And then additionally, maybe because you're a visual artist, you're able to read comics. Because I know a lot of people who literally
But you're also
don't know how to read
married
comics.
to and surrounded by people who are
It's true.
constantly reading comics and talking about it. So you think if you were just on your own with no people around, you would attract that stimulus?
Probably not in the same way at all.